Hey, what's going on, everybody? AD the Barber here. Today I got a high bald taper for you. First thing I'm gonna do is just start up by combing my client's hair. Now I'm gonna take my number 0 Andes purple magnetic guard using my Wall 5-star seniors, and I'm gonna start just by taking the top down with the grain. Also pay attention to how my strokes are starting at the crown of the head and coming towards the front of the hairline. Another thing to always watch out for when you're cutting hair with the grain is to make sure when you're combing it, you're examining the scalp and checking the direction that the hair does grow, because sometimes people have swirls not just at the crown of their head but at the top and in the front of their hairline, and you don't want to accidentally put a gap in their head because you assume they only had a swirl on the crown. And see, even on the back, I'm still coming from the crown of the head, now going in a downward motion. And over on the right side, you see I'm repeating the same steps, going towards the hairline from the crown of the head. Nice smooth strokes. And I'm keeping the blade flush to the head, not cutting at an angle. And just keep working the clippers in a nice smooth motion. Get all the hair down to an even level. The secret to a nice clean haircut is to have the hair as smooth as possible on top. Very important. Now I'm going to start and I'm going to make my guideline just like I did in the low taper video. I'm going to go ahead and take my T-out liners starting from the top of the sideburn. This time I'm going to take my guideline just a little bit higher, and I'm just going to get that area as bald as I possibly can. And you can always use another method to create the guidelines. You don't have to use T-out liners. And I'm just going to repeat the same process on the back of the head, and even when I get over to the right side of the head, using my T-out liners, balding that area. And if you don't want to use your T-out liners because you're afraid they're going to get too hot throughout your cuts and you don't have another pair to switch to when it comes to the lineup, another great thing is to take your seniors or your fade masters, go ahead and create the guideline with those all the way closed. Then you can go ahead and you can take a Wall 5-star shaver or Andes Profoil and finish cleaning up that area. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the fading process. I'm going to take my Wall seniors all the way closed. I'm going to comb the hair down just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and get in and start taking out that first guideline. With my seniors all the way closed, I'm just going to go up and I'm going to start to tap that guideline out, keeping my clippers flush to the head. And as I work that out, I'm going to continue to work my way up with my clippers. Now you see I'm halfway up, and I'm going to do the same process. And as you can see, my 5-star seniors, they don't have the side notches like my Andes Masters do. And so with the seniors, I usually work with them on 3 levels. Just to keep things simple, I either have them all the way closed, at the halfway point, or all the way open. And see, as I get higher, I'm not creating new guidelines. I'm just taking the one that I created out. And now I want to start to work on that bulk. And so I'm going to come down in a smoothing motion. Now when I'm doing the smoothing, you see I have my clippers all the way open still, and I'm just hitting up that bulk area. I'm not going to the top of the head or any higher than what my taper is. Now I'm going to take my Wall half guard, and I'm going to go in and start blending out some of the weight at the top of my taper. Also pay attention to how I have my clippers all the way open right now, and I'm just going to go in a nice smooth motion, clippers still flush to the head, just trying to make this transition as smooth as possible. Also remember to always use your mirror, because the mirror will catch any weight or any lines left in the head that your eye may have missed. And now with my clippers all the way open still, I'm still using the same half guard. I'm just going to go in a smoothing motion just to finish that taper off. Now as I move over to the right side, I'm going to continue the same process that I just did on the left side of the head, starting with my clippers all the way closed and just blending out that guideline. Working my way up, halfway up now. Not trying to create a new guideline, but just blend out the one that I currently have. clippers all the way open. And remember with the wall seniors that you want to keep the clippers flush to the head. And now I'm going to take my half guard again, repeating the exact same process that I did on the left side of the head, starting with them closed and working them all the way open. Always remember to brush the hair or comb the hair out throughout the haircut. That way you can get all those loose hairs out of the way and you know exactly what you're working with. Now with my clippers all the way open, I'm going to go into that smoothing motion again just to finish out the taper on the right side. Just remember to continue using your mirror to double check your work and see if there's any spots that you may have missed so you can go back and you can clean them up. Now the back of the head is the exact same process. The back's a little bit easier to fade out just because you're working with a larger area. But at the same time, some people's back of their heads are really complicated because they may have swirls. This particular client doesn't have any swirls in the back of his head, so it's going to be a basic tape out that I do 10 times a day. Just remember to follow the same process, starting with my clippers all the way closed and working them back open again, using the corners of your clippers and focusing on keeping this taper low. There's a difference between fading the line out and raising the line. And you don't want to recognize too late that you've raised the line when you thought you were fading it. Now I've referenced keeping the clippers flush to the head when you cut with the seniors, and as you see in this clip right here, this is an example of keeping the clippers flush. And pay attention to my motion and pay attention to the angles at which I'm holding the clippers at. And now as I'm getting higher in my taper, I put my half guard on again, and now I have my clippers at the halfway mark, keeping my clippers flush to the head and just tapping at that guideline. And now I'm moving my clippers all the way open, and I'll continue the same process, tapping at that guideline. And as soon as I finish with that, I'll go ahead and I'll have my clippers all the way open and I'll move to this smoothing motion just to finish it out. Now we get to everybody's favorite part with the lineup. Now I'm going to take my T-outliners, as you guys see me using a lot of my videos. These are my favorite T-outliners right here that I have, and I use them on basically every single cut, and you've heard me say that before in other videos. And I'm just going to start at the back of his hairline, and I'm going to work my way around. And remember, when you're working with hairlines, a great way to always keep them symmetrical is take a step back from your work and just look straight on. And that way you can see if the back line comes down at the correct angle or if your front line's straight. It's always nice to double check your work. And remember to be gentle with these clippers. They are sharp, especially if you have modified blades. You don't need to press down hard to get a nice crisp line. Now when I get to the front of the hairline, I usually like to start in the middle. Some barbers like to start in the corners. It's all about personal preference, what you're comfortable with. You do what works best for you. But I'm going to continue to start in the middle, and I'm going to work my way out to the edges. And pay special attention to the motion that I use when I'm holding the clippers. As you can see right here, I'm going in the inward motion. Remember to brush the hair down because you want to get all those hairs that are on the hairline. You want to get them all lined up perfectly. And so when I'm doing the top line, you see I'm coming down sort of to the left a little bit. You don't have to have modified blades to cut crisp hairlines. And just continue to do the same motion on the other side of the hairline. Remember to always take a couple steps back and check your work, make sure your lines are straight. Use your mirrors. I can't stress that enough. It's going to help you to ensure that your lines are straight. Don't be scared to turn your client into the mirror because you think the hairline is crooked, and it is. It's always better to double check your work and fix it while they're in the chair compared to letting them out of the chair and sending them home with a crooked hairline. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helped. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments below. But for today, that's it. This has been AD the Barber, and I'm out.